Welcome back to Case Documentaries. I bring you true crime, disturbing stories and other things that you may later regret knowing with regular uploads every week. Please do join the quickly growing, incredibly supportive Dark Case family by hitting subscribe now and turning on notifications. Thank you so much to all of my patrons. If your name is on screen right now, then you're a legend. Our love and respect goes out to all those that knew and loved Maddie and all those affected by this dark case. Viewer discretion is advised for this educational documentary. Maddie Durdant-Hollamby was born on April 21st, 1999 in Wimbledon, Cambridgeshire. She grew up in a happy family with her parents Steve and Rachel and her younger brother Fabian, who she really doted on. She was bubbly and caring and loved by all who knew her. After graduating from high school, she pursued her passion for marketing and, upon completion of her studies, she joined the company where her dad worked, Alimask. She was talented and going places, and everyone around her could see it. She caught the eye of Benjamin Green, her head of department. At 41 years old, he was 19 years her senior. Ben was born in Dewsbury, Yorkshire, and studied at the University of Manchester, where he met his future wife. Although they later divorced, he maintained a positive relationship with the mother of his 3 children. Ben wasn't just interested in Maddie for her marketing eye. Since his divorce, he had several flings with young and attractive women. For him, Maddie fit the mold. Maddie, a young woman in her early 20s, was also interested in Ben. He was tall, dark and handsome and knew how to make her laugh. As time progressed, their professional relationship took on more of a personal dimension. They started seeing each other over Christmas in 2019. Initially, the relationship was casual, with both Maddie and Ben showing no interest in anything more serious. Maddie was young, she didn't want to be tied down. Ben, on the other hand, had 3 children, and he had no plans of introducing Maddie to them. Keeping it casual really did seem to work for the both of them. Maddie was also flourishing in her professional life. She was headhunted for a new role as project director at Keyline Civils. It was a big step up and one that she rightfully deserved. She was out there making a name for herself in the industry. Whilst Maddie found her feet professionally, her relationship with Ben was starting to dwindle. After more than a year together, Ben desired more commitment from Maddie. He saw a future with her and wanted more. This included introducing her to his children and his family. Maddie, on the other hand, was satisfied with the status quo and wasn't ready to settle down. These differences in perspectives led to numerous discussions and arguments. This put a big strain on their relationship. Ben felt rejected. He was losing more and more confidence in himself and in this relationship. The situation was a catch-22. As he felt rejected, he became increasingly more jealous and possessive. He would check Maddie's phone whenever he could. He became upset whenever she received a notification or a message. When he acted like this, Maddie would pull back even further. He wanted to be seen with her in public. He wanted her to commit. However, Maddie just felt suffocated and oppressed. This situation wasn't healthy, none of this was. Maddie had always dreamed of buying her own home, and now that she was working and earning a good income, she was seriously considering it. Ben was also considering moving and proposed that they buy a house together. However, Maddie refused. This was not at all what she had envisaged. Maddie wanted to buy her first property alone. Ben said that he understood, but deep down he was hurt by this. However, he went on to buy a beautiful house alone in a quiet residential estate. And while he waited for it to be built, he moved in with Maddie and her parents. In my opinion, a pretty bold move. This cohabitation arrangement went well. Her parents got to know Ben and they actually liked him. And yes, the age gap was quite worrying, but if their daughter was happy in this relationship, then that was the most important thing. And then once his house was finished, he moved in, hoping that Maddie would also move in with him. But she didn't. That was never what she wanted. In August of 2021, her parents had planned to go on a family vacation to Jamaica, a vacation without Ben. Him not being invited didn't sit well with him. Ben felt excluded and rejected even further. After living with them for more than 6 weeks, he would have expected her to invite him on a trip. He was now sad, angry, and extremely disappointed. After one final argument, Maddie left Ben's home and began to question their relationship, feeling that they had reached the point of no return. Maddie felt increasingly suffocated and had had enough of his tantrums and constant arguments. Maddie was done with the whole situation. On August the 25th, 2021, Maddie was going to end her relationship with Benjamin after being together for over a year and a half. The night before, she had talked to her 2 best friends about it. The relationship was exhausting, and she felt that she could not give him any more than what she already was. They were just not on the same wavelength, and they did not have the same plans for the future. In Maddie's eyes, it was now the perfect time to end the relationship. And although she knew that it would be hard, she believed it was the right thing to do. Maddie didn't feel like she wanted to do it over text or phone. She wanted to tell him in person. In my opinion, the bravest, hardest, and most humane option. She planned to go to his place in Kettering that evening after work. Maddie was nervous about the confrontation. She didn't know how he would react. At 3:35 p.m, she sent a text message to her friends. She was anxious, but like any good companions, they encouraged her, telling her that it was the right thing to do. As she got closer to his house, she sent a text saying that if they didn't hear from her in an hour, they should give her a call. Just a minute later, she sent another message telling them that she loved them. Time passed, and after an hour, her friends still had no news from her. They tried to call her, but they got no answer. This lack of communication continued for several hours. It caused increasing worry and anxiety among the close friends. Benjamin's friends and colleagues were also unable to get a hold of him too. The night passed with no contact from either of them. And then the following day, one of Benjamin's friends decided to contact Maddie's mother. The friend wanted to find out if she had any information about Benjamin. They were concerned because they hadn't heard from him. Rachel, Maddie's mother, was shocked to receive the call. She realised that she had not seen her daughter return home the previous night. She checked the GPS tracker on her daughter's phone. This showed that Maddie was at Ben's house, and thus everyone assumed that everything was fine. But things were not fine. Not by a long shot. Up to this point, she had no idea that her daughter was planning to break up with Benjamin. She had called her daughter's office and was horrified to learn that Maddie had missed an important meeting and hadn't shown up for work. This was not normal for Maddie. Benjamin's colleagues were also concerned about his absence from work and his total lack of communication. One of his friends decided to check on him at his home, but there was no answer at the door. Strange, as Maddie's phone suggested that she was there. Maddie's parents then went to the police. They quickly arrived at Benjamin's house in Kettering to investigate the situation. After knocking on the door several times with no response, they were left with no option but to break it down. And what they found inside was horrifying. First responders immediately found Benjamin. He was lying on the floor in a pool of red fluid in the kitchen. He had a fatal wound to his neck and a sharp kitchen implement was near his head. Ben was already lost, but where was Maddie? After a brief search, they found a second body in the house, a body belonging to Maddie. She was found upstairs on the left side of the bed. She had been jabbed with a sharp implement 3 times. Her phone and the handle of a sharp kitchen implement were found beside her. There was no sign of a struggle, forced entry, or open windows or doors except for the back door. It fell on the police to undertake the formidable task of piecing together the sequence of events and resolving this dreadful crime. In the wake of the tragic events surrounding Maddie's passing, a hypothesis of an intruder in her house quickly gave way to the arrival of multiple police cars in the normally quiet neighborhood. This tragic story quickly spread across social media, and then it reached Maddie's parents. They recognized Benjamin's house, and from that point on, they knew their little girl was gone. Analysis of Maddie's smartwatch revealed that her heart rate had stopped at around 6 p.m. the previous day. This was just minutes after she had sent messages to her best friends. An autopsy showed that Maddie had no defensive wounds. She did, however, have 3 wounds made by a sharp implement to her left shoulder and her chest. She may have been alive for a short time after these injuries, but a pathologist could not say how long she would have lived. The blade of a broken knife was found snapped off inside one of the wounds. Benjamin had suffered severe injuries as well. This included a severed jugular vein and superficial wrist wounds. With no evidence of any third-party involvement, the police determined that Benjamin had killed Maddie before taking his own life. If he couldn't have her, no one would. Our preliminary hearing went ahead on July 7th, 2022. All of the evidence was presented at the hearing. Maddie had gone to break up with Ben face to face. As we know, she decided to do this as she thought it was the right thing to do. However, within minutes of arriving at the house, she had been ended with a sharp implement. This was done in such ferocity that the blade snapped off inside her. After doing this, Ben then went downstairs and snuffed out his own light. Though some of Maddie's friends had noted that Benjamin could be possessive and controlling, there had been no prior signs of aggression or violence towards her. Similarly, Maddie's father, who had become close with him during the 6 weeks that he had lived with the family, had never observed any indication of domestic maltreatment. Despite feeling the strain of their relationship slipping away, there were no obvious warning signs that Benjamin would resort to such violence. Interestingly though, a strikingly different image of Benjamin emerged from other people in his life. According to anonymous declarations, Benjamin was a predator who arrogantly wielded his powers of seduction, hunting for much younger women. He mistreated women, boasted about his multiple conquests, and even spoke about them with contempt. Shockingly, even when he was in a committed relationship or married, he was unfaithful. He even bragged about having 8 mistresses at once. His former neighbours who had known him for 18 months also noted his arrogance and indifference towards them, all whilst bringing many young and attractive women to his home. He typically went for younger women, potentially as a way to stay in control. A pretty classic tactic. It is possible that he was deeply hurt or angered by the breakup with Maddie, particularly as he was accustomed to starting and ending relationships on his own terms. Benjamin wanted exclusivity with the only woman who didn't feel the need for it, and it was because of this that he became attached to her. Just like that old saying, you always want what you can't have. Following the announcement of Maddie's intention to leave him, Benjamin couldn't help but make her pay for it in the worst possible way. The hearing led to the ultimate conclusion that Benjamin had ended Maddie when she attempted to break up with him, before ultimately ending his own time on this earth. Maddie's mother made an impact statement in court. I feel as though our lives have been destroyed, ripped apart. I can't quite see a way forward. There is a huge hole in our lives. I want to be a family of 4 again. She was just perfect. With no answers or justice possible for Ben, there's no way for either of the families to get the closure they so need and deserve. What are your thoughts about this case? What do you think could be done to avoid something like this happening again in the future? Please do let me know down in the comments. Be careful out there, and I'll see you soon.